Guess we're kicking off the episode right now. I actually don't think maybe one other time. I don't think we've actually met in person, have we?
Um,
I feel like I can recall one time when you were
maybe.
like it'd probably be your junior or senior when you were helping out with the varsity team.
Oh, that's probably right. Yeah.
I think we maybe talked once then, but
Yeah. I feel like we have a lot of mutual friends, but
agreed. And
yeah.
also the more that I guess I've done this and you've been great because you gave a lot of support with the podcast, which I appreciate. But I'd say like 4 or 5 years ago, at least on LinkedIn specifically, I was doing a lot of the same things that I see you do now, um, which is basically just like outreach. I see your comments on a lot of like, as you call it, LinkedIn influencers or just like heavy LinkedIn posters. I see a lot of comments from you on their posts, and yeah, probably like 4 or 5 years ago, while I was sophomore, junior at NMU, I was doing the same thing. So when I started the podcast and I was kind of thinking of people to get on, and I kept seeing your name pop up, I'm like, oh, Caleb would actually be perfect because this is what I was doing like 5 years ago.
Yeah. I love LinkedIn. I've met so many good people actually. I mean, people hate on LinkedIn, but I've met so many cool people through LinkedIn. Um, just messaging, and now that Zoom is so like, I guess, like normalized, like
Yeah,
lots of people just hop on and talk to you for 30 minutes.
which is cool. Have you done many calls then? I'm assuming
Oh,
yes.
hundreds.
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah. I mean, that's like a big part of my week is I literally just like take time to like send cold emails or cold messages. And yeah, I mean, most of my opportunities I've gotten is from like cold emails.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, uh, for people who are watching this, I give little description on what we're going to be doing with Caleb as a guest, but we're going to do a part one. And I mean, you're fully recovered at this point, right, from cancer?
Yeah. I'm six
So,
years. Well, my last chemo was April 1st of 2019. So that was almost 7 years ago.
oh,
I'm 6 years fully past any treatment.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So, for people who are listening, we're going to do kind of a two-parter. The first one is going to be Caleb talking through that whole cancer experience and getting recovered through that. And then kind of what we were just talking about. I like to think of it as like building a personal brand or building up your own name, like basically through LinkedIn at this point is the avenue where some of those calls that you were just talking about. We're going to talk about that stuff in episode 2, which is cool. So we're going to do something fun with the next 2 episodes, but I think it's a good time for you, Caleb, to kind of kick off, ex- introduce yourself a little bit and kind of introduce that journey of 2016.
Yeah. Happy to. So I guess for a little context, I was like a normal kid growing up. Like I played sports. I was a healthy kid. Um, and I played pretty high level hockey, double A, triple A until age 12, which is what you're highlighting, was when I got diagnosed. And before that, yeah, I was a healthy kid, normal, nothing different. And then in like probably the fall, I'm trying to think back, probably September ish of 2016, I got a bad cough, and that's all it started as, was just a cough. And I went to the doctor and they said it was pneumonia, and they said it was whatever else that they could came up with that you have a cough with. And and then it just didn't go away. It just got worse and worse and worse, and I couldn't stop coughing. And I was still playing hockey at that point. And then I ended up getting a chest X-ray. Um, was like probably November 30th at that point of 2016, and then immediately like they could tell stuff was wrong in the chest X-ray,
Okay.
and we immediately drove down to DeVos Children's Hospital, which is in Grand Rapids, and went to the emergency room. And the next like few months for me are very limited memory. Um, I know I was on lots of drugs and lots of like they basically so my airway what had happened while I was coughing was my airway was basically um like very small, like the tip of your pinky basically was
Oh,
how
well,
big my airway was, which is why I was coughing because I couldn't breathe,
yeah,
essentially. And yeah, they said I was like, if I hadn't come to the hospital within 48 hours when I did, I would have like my airway would have closed and I would have suffocated, which is crazy work.
holy,
Yeah. So went to the hospital. That was like December 31st or no, November 31st. And then they did like a biopsy and went in and checked everything out. Um, and I was diagnosed with T-cell lymphoma on December 1st of 2016.
holy,
That was kind of like the start of it. Um, and then yeah, I was admitted to the ICU for probably about a month or two once I got there. Um, and I was in and out of the hospital for the next few months. Um, yeah, so that's like the basically the start of it.
yeah,
Um,
that's crazy. I mean,
yeah,
just how that. I mean, it started with a cough. Like,
yeah.
really, how could you suspect it turned anything bigger? And then just didn't go away. The first thing that came to me is like, what did you do for school? Like,
Yeah, I was in 6th grade at the time. Um, and luckily, like the principal there at Bothwell and Marquette, as Marquette listeners will know, was basically like, guys, it's 6th grade, like it's fine. Like if you know what I mean, like focus
yeah,
on living, obviously, and schoolwork will be fine. So I had a tutor like through when I had treatment, but as you can like guess, like I did limited homework at that point.
yeah,
Uh, um, so that comes into a lot of other stuff that I had like problems with later is I think I matured a lot like personally and like mindset wise and like what was going on there, but I was immature in a lot of like school stuff, if that makes sense, just because
yeah,
it was like a middle school, like you're figuring stuff out, like you have no idea what's going on. And I really didn't learn how to study. I like didn't I mean, I was trying to survive. So then I got to high school and I was a horrible high school student just because when I came to high school, like I was like why am I in history? Why am I, like why am I sitting in this class? Like I almost just died. Like why does this matter? Why am I
yeah,
learning about the 1800s history? Like I don't care about
yeah,
this. So it comes around in the later stage where I was like very immature in schooling later on and I eventually figured that out obviously figured out what I was doing obviously but
yeah.
um yeah so schooling was very 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 limited throughout. I pretty much missed like all of 6th grade, pretty much all of 7th grade. I came back for 8th grade in person and then COVID hit my freshman year and I was back online, so I had a weird, like it was so strange.
That's actually wild because
Yeah,
now, I mean, and we'll touch on it more in episode 2, but like I'd classify you as like a learner. Like you really
yeah,
like to learn now,
yeah,
which I guess makes sense because you kind of missed out on it for a good chunk of. I'd say it's when it's important, but I was kind of the same. Like I didn't really start dialing in school until college. Really,
yeah.
like high school, I just was there for the hanging out with friends and being around people, and I was never like a bad student. I was very average. But then when I got to college, it just kind of clicked, and I would say I was better than most, which was not me in college, or I mean in high school.
Yeah, I mean, I barely graduated. I don't care about telling it. Like literally graduated like a 1.8 GPA. Like I was a horrible high school student just because I didn't find value in it. I was like, why am I sitting? Why am I in class right now? Like
Yeah,
I could be doing so much other things. And that's another big thing that I kind of realized when I got sick was like how I guess fragile life is. Like I was a healthy kid and then the next day I was in the hospital and like almost dying, and I guess it kind of put things into perspective uh a lot for me, and that like I appreciate a lot of little things now that I didn't back then, like,
For
even,
sure.
like, like, literally waking up in the morning. I also was and all those drugs are so bad that I was on a steroid that basically a bad steroid, not like get jacked steroid. Like
Yeah.
I lost all my strength, so it went the other way. So I like couldn't even walk up the stairs. I couldn't get in a car. Like I had to be lifted into the car at one point. Um, so I like lost all of that. I couldn't run. I mean, I literally couldn't go up the stairs.
That's just
Um,
crazy.
yeah,
How long was, like so I let's say, like, the last couple months of 2020 or 2016 is when you got diagnosed, everything kinda kicked off. What was, like, that initial recovery? Like, you mentioned, I guess, the first couple months of what would be 2017.
yeah.
Like, what did the actual, like when did the recovery actually kick off where you started chemo and, like, I guess things started getting better? Did they ever, like, set back where things got worse for a sec, or was it, like, progressively better, you knew it was gonna get better?
So it's kind of weird how it works because I was actually like cancer free in like January of 2017.
Okay,
And then the rest of the stuff is all preventative. Basically, what they do is they go in and kill like every cell in your body to make sure it doesn't come back.
okay,
Um, and then, so I was in for a year and a half, I was in intensive chemo to the point where at the end of like 2017, I would literally throw up every like 15 minutes. Like I couldn't keep anything down. It was terrible.
totally.
Um, and those drugs are so bad. There's so many side effects. Um, like the nurses are coming in like hazmat suits, right? Like, and I'm getting it injected into my veins, and it's like this is not good, guys. This is bad.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's kind of like unnerving. Um,
and you're just sitting there, like, you need it basically, and then
yeah,
they don't want it exposed to them.
yeah. I remember being in we first went in the when we first got to the emergency room in December of 2016. The doctor, now my main doctor and my main doctor throughout, I remember her telling my parents, "You guys better hope this is cancer," which is like that's like super strange.
Yeah,
And my parents were like, "What?" Like, obviously, like, "What the heck? Why would you tell us that?" And she was like, "Well, I know how to treat cancer and I can kill cancer, but I can't kill if it's something like I don't know what to do if it's something else."
yeah,
And that was like a very eye-opening, I guess, moment for a lot of us, my family.
yeah,
Um, and yeah, so that was 2016. Throughout, I was on a bunch of bad drugs, like I said, side effects. So I had a clot in my port in July of 2017, kind of jumping around a bit, but this is like the summer of after I got diagnosed. I had a clot in what's called a port. So I don't know if you're familiar with that, what that is, but
oh,
a port is basically it's basically like a little thing that's right on your chest, right up
okay,
here, and it's where they stick a needle in it, and it's like rubber inside, and it goes straight into your bloodstream. So it's basically like instead of them poking your veins every time, they install like a direct line. If
okay,
that and then it goes into your bloodstream. Well, it goes directly into your heart, which is into directly into you. And there was a clot. It clotted on the end of the port in my heart, and which is not good. Like if it
yeah,
moved, it you would die. Your heart would stop. So I had emergency open heart surgery in July of 2017. And that was like one of the points where I was like, I remember going into surgery thinking like this is it. Like I'm this is where it ends. I was so scared.
and at that
Um,
point, you're 13?
I was 13.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah, I turned 13 in May that year, and that was July. So I was like still a young kid. Like I didn't really know what was going on,
that's
but
wild.
yeah, kind of had to grow up quick. That was a big one. I was airlifted twice, once in a helicopter, once in a plane. The helicopter was for a collapsed lung, which is just like the meds are so bad they just kill your body.
Yeah,
Um, and then the other one was for pancreatitis, which was like one of the worst pains. I'm obviously never going to be pregnant, but they compare it to like pregnancy pain when you have a kid.
that's crazy, and that
Um,
was that was after that July too, so it was, like, open
That
heart surgery,
was
2 airlifts after?
yeah, I think one might have been before and one might have been after.
Okay.
Um,
Either way, still, I mean,
yeah,
that's
yeah, and
crazy.
I think I touched on it a little bit to you in that email, but, like, it's ridiculous how expensive hospital bills are.
Yeah,
I mean, I had throughout the treatment, I had $2.1 million in medical bills,
which is
uh,
just
racked it up.
insane.
Yeah, I mean, both my mom and my stepmom work in the hospital, so they have really good insurance, which is like the only way I'm financially fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I can't believe people that don't have insurance, they're screwed. I mean, it's
You said
it's horrible.
the helicopter lift, I think in that email too, you said that was like 80K?
Yeah, yeah, the helicopter itself was 80 grand.
And
And
now is
then
was that, like, does insurance cover part of that or, like,
oh yeah, I was double covered. So I was covered by my mom, my stepmom, and then I had what's called children's special health insurance, which is like essentially Medicaid for like children that are in critical condition,
yeah,
and that's through Michigan, and that pretty much picked up whatever my parents' insurance didn't.
gotcha,
So
okay.
yeah, luckily I had very very good insurance that paid for most, if not all, of most things. Um, So yeah, the insurance company definitely did not make money on me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But yeah, that was kind of like a whirlwind of a summer. And then I was in Grand Rapids every single week for treatment for IV chemotherapy. Um,
you guys would just obviously, you drive down. It's like
Drive mostly. There's a awesome nonprofit in the UP called Northwoods Air Lifeline,
okay,
and they have like 5 or 6 pilots that have planes, like small, 4 6-seater planes,
yeah.
and they will fly people for free.
Oh,
So
whoa,
we
okay,
flew a lot in like later 2017,
gotcha.
fall 2017. So luckily I flew a lot of it instead of driving. But yeah,
Otherwise, that's like a
a lot of it
six
was
and a half,
driving.
6.5, 7-hour drive or so from Marquette.
Yeah, there and back. And we'd do it in like 2 days. We'd literally like drive down the night before, have treatment, drive back the same day. Because my
God.
parents still had to work. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
so yeah, kind of a crazy time.
So that's
Um,
2017, that'd be, yeah, you're now 13, the
yeah,
fall of your 7th grade year.
that would have been, yeah, the start of my 7th grade year. Yeah. And I didn't go to school at all in 7th grade. I think I
Really?
went on the last day of school. And that was the only time I went actually in person at all.
Now at that point, like, were you still, like a Bothwell student, or at that point were you just, like, homeschooled?
Yeah, I was a Bothwell student, I think technically. Like I said, I had a tutor, but she came over like maybe once a week and gave
Okay.
me homework, but it was like if you turn it in, great. If you don't, it's fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean I was really nauseous, really sick. Like I told you, I couldn't even keep anything down. I'd just eat, throw it up, eat. I mean it was horrible.
Yeah.
And they basically bring you to what's a state called toxicity, and it's basically like you literally can't keep anything down. Like they've killed the drugs are doing so much killing all the cells in your body that I literally like couldn't keep anything down at one point, and then
Did they
that's when
have
they
to
back it off.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Did they have to, like, you were going down for chemo, did they also inject, like, IVs at all to, like, try to get you nutrition, or was it, like, just try to eat the food?
Yeah, I had a few blood transfusions throughout it because I was so immunocompromised that that's the
Yeah.
only way they can bring your immune system back up. Um, so I had that, which helped a little bit. But yeah, it was basically just like fight through it, eat what you can. I craved weird things during it too. Like I'd be throwing up, Kobe, and I'd be like, "Mom, all I want is some hot Cheetos right now. Like that's literally all I want."
And then, like, when you had that craving, could
Oh,
you
I'd throw it
stomach
up.
it?
No,
Yeah.
no, no. But that's all I like. All I wanted to eat. Um,
That's
there
actually
was also like a
hilarious.
point where I I had a problem like keeping in my salt. I like pee
Okay.
it out, and I was on salt pills for a while, and those were terrible. It was like eating a salt block.
I'm
And
sure.
then also, you think you drink more water, you pee more. So I couldn't. I was on for like I think a month. I was only allowed to drink 10 milliliters a day, which is basically like a sip of water.
That's
Um,
crazy.
yeah, and that was horrible because obviously you need the water to take the pills. So like that was my only drink all day. I could only have that one sip to take my pills. There's like there's crazy stuff like that. Um, but yeah, and then I think I hit what they call maintenance phase in fall of 2017,
Okay.
which is where they kind of back off. Like you hit that state of toxicity, your body literally is killed every single cell, and then they back off, um, and they like kind of mellow it out more. You're still on chemo, but it's a lot less intense. It's manageable at least.
Okay.
And then I was on that for April, beginning of April, and that was my last like actual last chemo.
That's
And
wild. And then
that
yeah,
was
you got about what, year and a half, and then COVID hit the world.
yeah, and then I went back to school for like eighth grade. I guess that would have been, let's see, that would have been end of my seventh grade year, and then I went back for eighth grade, and then March of like second semester of freshman year of high school, COVID hit, and we went back online, and I was a horrible online student. So I
It's
just didn't really
crazy.
care, to be honest. Like I
Well,
just,
yeah, you just went, call it 2 years of like,
yeah,
you know, not going to school, obviously for good reason. And then now you're like forced to go sit at a computer and do,
yeah.
I don't know what schooling looked like in high school, and online college was pretty much a joke online too. But
Well, yeah, freshman year they were basically like, yeah, like you don't have to do anything the rest of the year. Like we're just canceling it because we don't even have the infrastructure in place. Like there was no
interesting.
Zoom at that point. They were just like, yeah, you guys are done for the year. Like, oh, okay,
So, okay, back to the school, because it's just
yeah,
really interesting that like you now you're like on your website, you're asking people to give you insight and
yeah,
knowledge and stuff. But
yeah.
did it ever catch up with you? Like, has it caught up yet where you're like, oh, I can definitely tell I'm missing essentially 3 years of like primary education?
Um, no, not now,
Okay.
but definitely in those high school years, I was like I said, I didn't care. I didn't find value in anything I was learning. I didn't really like see how it was gonna like benefit me in the future.
Yeah.
Um, and I think I was very immature, educational wise. I was always a smart student when I applied myself. I was always good at school when I tried. I
Yeah.
just didn't try.
Which
Um,
is understandable.
yeah, that was I don't know. I played way too many video games during that point.
Probably
I
some
uh
Fortnite.
I went pro in Fortnite. I had like $5,000 in earnings over that time.
Really?
Yeah, I won. I did well in a few tournaments
That's
throughout that
crazy.
period. I
I actually
literally,
didn't know that.
yeah, I think I played like, dude, it's stupid. I think I have almost a year played on Fortnite.
Really?
Yeah,
Did
I
you
think
just play solos the whole time, or did you play with buddies in Marquette?
I played with buddies, but like there was a point where I'd get kicked out of like creative. Get kicked out of parties because I was too good,
Oh yeah.
and it wasn't fun for them. So
Which makes sense if you're making money on the game.
yeah, I was pretty good. But my parents were also like, well, like he can't really do anything else. So like at least it's something to do.
Yeah. And you're still
And
like, I guess, talking to people
yeah, I mean I guess I was socializing. I mean I was yeah,
at the time.
it was a crazy time. But yeah, so video games were a big part of my life then. Um School was kind of non-existent through that period. And yeah, now I'm fine. Like I really enjoy learning. That's the I guess following it back into school, I really enjoy learning now because I see value in it.
Yeah.
Back then, I didn't see, like, any value in it.
Yeah.
Um,
We'll cross into what we'll talk about in the second episode a little bit,
yeah,
but
yeah,
you're a finance major at NMU.
yeah,
You graduate in this
27,
May?
May of 27. I have a year left.
Okay, okay, okay. We just
Yeah,
talked about that last week, but I forgot. Okay, May of
okay.
27. You've already done a couple internships.
Yep.
Um, yeah, talk about, I guess, what you were doing at NMU. I know I don't remember the name of it, but you've like started a fund too. Like you're doing more than just school now at NMU. You're kind of thriving, which is cool.
Yeah, I basically well, I guess we could leave it for part 2 if you want. We can
You could touch it a little bit. Touch it
Okay.
a little
All
bit.
right. All right. So yeah, between my freshman and sophomore year, I moved to Indianapolis for like 5 months during the summer. And then that was at a wealth management firm. Um and a lot of our clients were all of our clients were like over 10 million net worth.
Okay.
And then most of those, or at least some of the clients there, were doing what's called like angel investing, which is like investing their own money into private companies, or they were what's called an LP, which is a limited partner in venture funds.
Okay.
So they were investing in companies, and I was essentially living on my own at that point. I didn't really know anyone in the city, and I at that time basically just cold emailed everyone from like all the big firms, like literally everyone I could find their email for. I emailed probably like I don't even know how many emails I sent that summer, probably like 400 to 500, and just took calls with everyone that would give me the time of day. Just tried to learn as much as possible. I was also working tons during that time, so I didn't have anything else to do.
Yeah.
Got in like stupid good shape, because I didn't have anything else to do.
Yep.
And yeah, and that's where I got like involved in venture capital, and then I moved back to come back for school, and realized that a lot of other schools had raised venture funds, small venture funds, to get students involved in, not necessarily for returns, but because they're all students trying to
Yeah.
invest in stuff, and that doesn't usually end well. But um, some schools have done it well. U of M, it has a very good program. And I applied the same principle that I was doing back in Indy. I just cold emailed the president of NMU and said, "Why aren't we doing this? Like, I can run this, I can do this." And yeah, became good friends with President Tessman, who's now left, unfortunately.
Yep.
Um, Bugged him probably more than he would like, but we became good friends over that time. And then I was like taking meetings with all of NMU leadership over that period and convinced everyone that it was a good idea to raise the fund. And then President Tessman left, and then the endowment CEO left, and I was like, well, back to square one because I don't know anyone. So yeah, it's still kind of like on pause. The fund at NMU is kind of on pause.
Okay.
I'm involved with or I know people that are raising a fund at Tech. One of my good buddies, Vince Nystrom, he was a partner at a firm downstate for a long time, and he lives in Marquette now. They're raising a fund at Michigan Tech, which maybe NMU will become a part of at some point, maybe not. Um, but that's kind of where that is at. So that's paused. And then now I'm raising money for late stage companies because I don't have to be licensed.
Oh, that's
Um,
cool. Okay.
I don't have to be security licensed if I'm not actually brokering the deal. If I can just go essentially like a glorified sales person, right? Like just
Yeah.
instead of selling a product, I'm selling private companies or equity in private companies.
Yeah.
Um, so I go out, find family offices or find people with money, and convince them that this is the company to buy right now, and then basically taking a percentage of that deal, um, whether that's a management fee upfront or carry on the back end.
Gotcha.
Uh,
No,
so that's
no,
that.
I wanted you to touch on it a little bit because I want to tie it back to maybe
Yeah.
like middle school or high school self.
Yep.
I mean, like you can definitely tell just by listening, you're obviously way more motivated about what you're doing now. What
Yeah.
would be like the, could be 3 are the biggest takeaways of that, like, period of time where you're like, "Wow, life really just it sucked for you because of everything that you had going into your body, the like, the energy that you actually could put out, like, that could have affected people a lot longer than, like, you let it affect you, like, in reality, freshman year of high school, I mean, call it 6 years, maybe that where maybe, like, held you back a little bit, but, like, you're what,
I'm 21.
21, and you're already ahead of so many other 20-year-olds, like 25-year-olds, 26-year-olds. You're, like, farther along in the game because now you're putting yourself out there. And granted, you're still in school, but, like, what do you think hit you hard in, like, 2016, 2018 that made you do what you're doing now?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think, like I said before, I realized very quickly that I wasn't invincible. And like a lot of people go out and party and stuff. And I'm not opposed to having fun, Kobe. Like I'll have some
Yeah,
fun, but I realized that like there's not a lot of time to live, and doing stupid stuff makes that time shorter, or can.
yeah,
And I don't know, I think I found a lot of motivation like just appreciating that I woke up this morning and I'm living.
yeah,
Um so yeah, I don't know. It's a good question. Um I think it changed my perspective on life a lot.
yeah.
Um it made me realize how short life is, however cliche that is, I
No,
guess.
I think that's a good answer, and I guess the way I'm taking it is, like, you're just putting more priority into the things that I guess you find value in, which I think actually nails it on the head because you talked about school before, how you didn't find value in it, so it was hard to put that energy into it.
Yeah.
And I'd say I'm similar in the way of like, I will still have fun and have a good time, but that's not my priority. Like I run a lot. I, really like my job now. There's still exams to take to get certifications. Like there's still things that I hold over going out on a weekend. I will go out on a weekend, but
Yeah.
like I hold other things to a much higher value now. Definitely didn't have the life experience that you did very early on, but I do think it doesn't happen for everyone. But some people get hit with this weird thing with life where like it kind of clicks, and it's like you find what you do find value in early on, being like maybe your very early 20s. And then, like for you, you recognize that there's some things that you think are pretty important, and you're going after it by cold calling or creating funds or doing side projects, and that's only going to make you more successful at 30 years old, 35 years old. Like the the harder you work now on things that you find valuable, the more time you're going to have at age 35 to do
Yeah.
like the things that are super fun to you, and maybe you're not working as hard.
I think hockey was a big part of my identity growing up, and then I had to quit that when I was sick. I still played, but I played. I was just on the team
Yeah.
because they were being nice, which is fine. Like I appreciated it at the time, but I stopped playing for like 2 years, and I was always like a hyper competitive person. My mom's hyper competitive. My dad played college football. Like I guess that's probably in my DNA to be competitive. And I think I felt like I got cheated out of that a lot in my sports career, that I think I could have gone farther. Now I ended up coming back to hockey after I was sick, and played, and then I played club hockey at NMU for 2 years.
Nice.
Um, and then I realized, I was like, well, this is like a full-time job and I'm not going pro, so I guess I got to bring my competitiveness to something else.
Yeah.
Which is where like I guess some of the motivation comes in. Is like I want to play a game that I can like measure and I can win, I guess, or
Yeah.
I can try to win. Uh, and business is the easiest correlation to that.
I think
If that
so.
makes
I
sense.
I agree with that. It's not like a science, but I feel like you've already, and I'm not an expert on it, but I feel like you do the right things, you put yourself out there, you ask questions, um, basically don't stay stagnant, like, you keep looking for the next thing, the thing that's gonna level you up. I do think business is the place to be because there's so much opportunity, and especially if you're gonna get into, like, venture capital and angel investing, just like anything passive where people are just putting equity out there to get gains on the growth of a business, like, obviously there's risk to that, but it's not like you're hands-on operating the business. It's a good space to be in, I think.
Yeah, I think another thing it's super interesting and fun for me, and that is like I'm in my early 20s, right? So like I can take max risk at this point in my like I have
Yeah.
nothing to lose, right? Like if I take equity in a company and it goes to zero, then well, I'm broke anyway. Like I'm already broke, so it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like I go back to zero, big deal. I don't have a family. Like I have very low responsibilities at this point. I could move to another city after college and go live there and grind it out. But I don't have kids. I don't have. I mean,
Yep.
I have a girlfriend, but so I think it's the time to take as much risk as you can, and I think that's what sets like successful people apart. If you look at any successful person, even not in business, right? Like in I think hard work directly correlates to success
Yeah.
in 90% of cases.
Yeah.
Um,
I would
and
agree.
I think people can create their own luck too. I think I have a sign above me that says like preparation plus opportunity equals luck, and I think
Like
that's
that.
like rings true like all the time. Like if you're if you can find opportunity and you're as prepared as you can be for that, you can create your own luck infinitely.
Yeah. I think one thing to add to that, and then this is good. We can save the rest for episode 2.
Let's do it.
But I think it's good. Like we both come from sports background. I obviously also played hockey until age 17, 18, 1 year after high school, and then I actually did.
Do you still play? What's the hockey looking like in Texas these
No,
days?
I haven't played in almost, call it 3 years, maybe.
Do they have rinks there?
Yeah, yeah. There's one
Dude, what the
maybe
heck? Go play.
20 minutes north of me. No, I don't even have my gear. It's back home in
Dang.
Michigan. I uh I didn't take it with me in Arizona. I don't have it here. I came home last December and played in the alumni game for high school. That was the first time I'd skated in maybe a year. It's kind of the same thing. I just prioritize like running and like
Yeah.
lifting more now.
Yeah.
A whole nother story, but like I don't like men's league. It's too competitive for what I want to put into it.
Yeah.
Um,
There's
but
always that one guy that thinks it's the Olympics and
oh, that could be a whole team of them. That's my least favorite team to play.
that's funny. That's
But
super funny.
like growing up, you have, it could be kids' parents, but you have kids that like are so loud, could be entitled, and like they pretty much always get what they want for the
Yeah.
most part. Like especially at the travel level, you have these kids who, still haven't like grown up, and makes sense. You could be 10 years old playing travel, and you have these kids with just bad work ethics, but like big personalities, and they get what they want.
Yeah.
It's not an exact science, but also I feel like some of those kids that do that all the way throughout high school, when they get to college, they're not the ones that like take the next step. And it's like almost the same principles where it's like now, if you're the loud voice searching out opportunity, you're going to get it. Like if you're sending 400 cold emails in a summer and taking up every coffee chat that you can, that's going to lead to more opportunity to the person that's never sent a cold email in their life, and
Yeah. I
that's
think a
just,
good representation of that is like talent beats hard work. That's
yeah,
like another cliche, but it's true. Like you can rely on talent for when you're young and when you're 10 years old. If you're talented at hockey, you can be the best freaking hockey player that is in the league, right? But like
yeah,
when you get to high school, when you get to college, when you get people that are like actually putting in work and like actually like shooting thousands of pucks and and working out every day and not drinking, and like they pass the other people exponentially.
For sure.
Um, and I think you see the same thing in careers too.
Yeah.
You can only rely on talent for so long until you actually like have to work at it.
No, agreed. Good insight. Well, I appreciate you taking time for episode 1. We'll figure out when we're doing the second part of this, maybe the
What's up?
next week or 2. But, yeah, I appreciate it. And, yeah, I'll catch you in episode 2.
Sounds good.